Good morning. I want to narrate my personal experience with Jesus. Interesting that the church at the beginning grew through witnessing, through people who were narrating their experience. I'm narrating this experience in the context of the so many voices that are moving around, the way we are trying to interpret the things that are going on in the church, the present pope, the different attitudes. It is in this context that I want to narrate one of my experience and then also drop some comments about my personal conviction, which is also that issue of witnessing. Being a martyr means saying what you believe in, you witness to it. It happened, my witness was, this thing that happened to me was in 2011, 2012, my first year of theology. Our course of ecclesiology, it takes place on Friday. The professor then is now a bishop in India. So during the course, something came up. I've forgotten, and I came in with an intervention of how when people eat, they can't talk again. I was specifically referring to pastors and bishops who, dining with public figures who have questionable characters, they create scandal. Who, with politicians, the much they eat, the voice of prophet is now silent in them. When I made that intervention, I was very convinced of what I was saying. And after, the professor said that this is very, very wonderful, very, very prophetic. He said it, and people were happy. People clapped. They said, "Oh, you are courageous." I said this on a Friday. The following morning, which was Saturday, which is now my experience, which I'm narrating, was I was listening to Luke's Gospel, Luke chapter 7, where Simon invited Jesus to eat. As Jesus was there eating, came this woman whom Simon, also the narrator of Luke's Gospel, called a sinner. Washed Jesus' feet with her tears and was wiping them with her hairs. That is not what touched me. This is normal. What touched me actually was the very fact that this man invited Jesus and Jesus went. And Jesus went not to preach to this man, he went to share the table as he does with his friends. Why am I narrating this personal experience? This changed me. Actually, I shed tears. I was under our college taking a walk on a tunnel when this thing happened. I stopped and I shed tears. I said, look at the nonsense I was saying yesterday. And already I've said this and I can't correct them again. It is one thing what we say with our head, is another thing what comes out of prayer, out of listening to the Spirit. Yesterday, to make some of my few comments about the things that are happening and about our general attitude to people, to God, to pastors, to the Pope. So we have a criteria that helps us to discern, which is the Spirit, which especially are the scriptures. Because if we don't read the Bible, we are gone, especially the Gospels. What I discovered in the Gospel yesterday, what brought me even to this Gospel was the fact that someone making a comment in a forum where I belong to, talking about, we can bless prostitutes when they come. I looked at the word prostitutes, porne in Greek. I don't want to go far. In the Gospels, it is used only 3 times. In the Gospel of Matthew and the Gospel of Luke. Matthew in chapter 21, from verses 20, 31 and 32, Matthew chapter 21, verses 31 and 32, he used it in Jesus' mouth. Jesus was saying to the scribes and Pharisees who think that they merited salvation, look, tax collectors and prostitutes are preceding you to the kingdom. That's 31. Verse 32, he said, John the Baptist came preaching, you did not listen, but tax collectors and prostitutes listened to him. Do with this whatever you want. The second time, the second evangelist that used this word, porne, is Luke in chapter 15. In the mouth of the elder brother, when he came back and he saw party in the house, he could not enter into this house, into the home of this father who welcomed the son, who, according to him, now the context where he used this word, this your son who wasted your wealth with prostitutes, and you are doing festa, you are doing party. He could not enter. Let us not forget that this parable came because of this elder brother and those who have his attitude. Luke chapter 15, very correct at the beginning, that chapter 1. He said that tax collectors and sinners, even because of it, I will need to make a little comment about sinners. And sinners were going to Jesus, wanting to listen to him. They are desirous of salvation. The same thing Jesus is saying, I came for sinners. I didn't come for those who are wealthy and the righteous. In the call of Matthew chapter 9, Mark chapter 2, after Jesus dined there, they were angry with Jesus that he was sharing his table with sinners. So now, when these people who thought that they needed Jesus, the tax collectors and sinners, they were coming to listen to him because that's the message of eternal life. Those who feel that they own God, that they merit salvation, therefore they sit and are judging others, had problem with this. That was why Jesus came up with those three parables of the lost sheep, the lost coin, and the son, and the merciful father, which remains a difficult message during the time of Jesus, and we continue to be, depending on how we want to judge. So now, the word sinner, how was it used? Oh, you see, I've already talked about the call of Matthew and how it was used. Or the fact that Jesus was always referred to as friend of sinners and tax collectors will really help us to know when I am judging things, when I am doing things, how will Jesus do? I didn't see any difference between the way most of us judge things, the attitude that most of us have towards the things that are happening, and the attitude that many, especially the Pharisees and the scribes, had towards Jesus in the way he was coming as the salvation. Jesus repeated, he's coming to save those who need salvation, not the righteous. I'm only inviting us to think and make our choices. Jesus, God, preached. People did not even listen. People did not even welcome him. So my word, the invitation is to look at the scriptures, listen, pray, listen to the Spirit, so that the judgment, if you are open, let your judgment come from encounter with God. Because the actual problem that the church has, that we have, is failure to testify, to witness. The problem, 80% of the problem in the church is not about doctrine, actually. It is. Yes, I'm not trying to exaggerate. The major problem is witness. Jesus was saying, the Pharisees, you will go so much miles to bring people, and when they come, you will harm them. People encounter us. What do they see? People who encounter me. I'm 38 years old. I've encountered many people. What is the trademark I live in people's lives? Personally, where I'm working, what is the trademark as a Christian that I live in the lives of those I meet? This is the major thing, the foundation of every problem. If I'm sincere in following God, if I'm sincere, it's a different thing altogether. That was the only way that the gospel was diffused at the early time. The apostles, they bore witnesses. I am privileged to have also met people who believed. They never preached to me. It is from their encounter. You see this person, the way he prays. You see the way he loves. You see the way he's patient. Oh my, I'm so privileged. It's encounter that touches people. Then you can preach with your word. So let us tackle the major problem, which is witnessing. You can have so much wonderful doctrine. The doctrine is so wonderful. Then someone comes attracted by what you are saying, and you. Peace be with us. May God bless us as we sinners go to Him.